I'm gonna go ahead and edit the home page. And what you're gonna do is, what you'll see right up here, you will see edit with Elementor. It's gonna be this big blue button right here. So let's go ahead now, click on that. And what will happen here is that Elementor will be launched to work on this particular page. Okay, this is the home page. Now on the left, obviously you can see the box for Elementor, the UI. The very first thing I want to show you here is the three buttons right here, the menu basically. You click in there, and right here you will have access to things like the site settings, theme builder, which we'll talk about a bit later. But very quickly, let's come down here to user preferences. And I don't know about you, maybe you like the light theme. I do like the dark theme. So what I'm going to do here is, for the UI theme, I'm going to switch from auto detect to dark. I prefer just the black background and the white text. It's just so much cooler in my opinion. Again, this is entirely subjective, but I'm gonna keep it at dark. Let's go back. And now in here, you can find something within Elementor, anywhere in Elementor if you want to. You can view the page, or then you can exit to the dashboard. But let's go back. Now, right here, you have elements, and then you have global. Global only works with the paid version of Elementor. That's when, if you want to save a particular block of content and use that same block on another page anywhere on your website, that's what global basically refers to. But don't worry, we'll talk about that one a bit later. But these are your elements, right? You've got basic elements like your inner section, your heading, image, text editor. So say for example, you wanted to add an image to your page, you would simply click on the image element and then simply drop it inside the box right there. And then from here, you can choose the image that you want to work with. So just as an example, let me choose the image of this girl right here holding the Brazilian flag. And there it is. The thing is, most of the elements you'll be working with typically have three main compartments, if I can call it that way. You will have the content area. In this case, this is where you can add either text, image, video, files, audio, and so on. And then you will have style, where you can do things like maybe change the color, change the size, add like a background image, change the height, and so on. And then you will have the advanced tab, where you can do things like add margins, patterns, spacing. You could also add some motion effects, some borders, and so on. So usually, most of the elements you'll be working with will have these three different tabs or compartments. So going back in here, when you click on the button up here, this will give you access to all the elements. So you can see we've got the basic elements in here: video, button, spacer, and so on. And now you can see the ones under Pro, under the paid version of Elementor: posts, portfolio, gallery. So many of them. So you can see right now, because we're not using the paid version of Elementor, we don't have access to all these elements. But thankfully, because we are working with the Essential Add-ons plugin, we do have access to quite many additional elements for free. You can see right here under Essential Add-ons. So we've got things like the Advanced Accordion, our Call to Action button, Creative button, and so on. So we're going to be working with quite a few of these elements. But going back to Elementor, under General, we do have access to more blocks as well. Let me just close this accordion. So under General, with the free version of Elementor, we have access to more elements like the icon box, testimonial, social icons, and so on. Let me close this one. And then you've got site. Unfortunately, these elements are only available with the paid version of Elementor. You've got WooCommerce, again, only available with the paid version of Elementor. We've talked about essential add-ons. So this is the other plugin we installed, the header and footer. This plugin will allow us to build a custom header and a custom footer for our website. So we'll have access to elements like the navigation menu, element, page title, site title, site logo, and so on. And then last but not least, we do have access to the WordPress widgets, like your pages, calendar, audio, meta, search, and so on. Okay, that's that for the elements. Now down here, okay, you have access to a few more settings. It may sound kind of overwhelming, but don't worry, once you begin working with Elementor, it's actually not that overwhelming. It's actually very, very easy to work with. Right here under settings, in here, you can do things like change the title of the page, change the status from published to pending review. You can add your featured image. You can also choose to hide the title, which in fact, let's do that. Okay, I'm going to hide the title. I mean, how many times do you go on a website and then on the home page it says home? People don't do that, so let's just go ahead and hide the title. And then the page layout, I'll explain this one a bit later as we progress in the course. And then you have the you do have the reading progress bar. This is provided by the Essential Add-ons plugin. Basically, the point here is that you may have seen on some websites before where as you begin to scroll down the page, you will see like a bar either moving horizontally or vertically, indicating how much of the content you've actually read and how much more content you still have to read. So you do have that feature in here. We'll take a look at that a bit later. And then table of contents, scroll to top. Don't worry, we'll talk about those later. And then under style right here, you can change the body type. You can add like a background color if you want to. You come in here right now, choose like the primary color of blue and so on. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and uncheck that one. And then finally, you've got the advanced, where you can add your own custom JavaScript code or some custom CSS code, which unfortunately is only available with the paid version of Elementor. Okay, let's move on. Next to settings, you've got the navigator. Now the thing about navigator is that once you begin to add elements and content onto your page, the navigator button will allow you to see basically the entire structure in a hierarchical format of your entire page. So it can be very, very easy for you to quickly look for a particular element or block that you want to work with. That's what the navigation or navigator button is there for. Next is the history. So if you make things like change the color, or basically if you do anything at all, it will be in the history tab. And you can see right here, right from the very beginning, when we started editing, we changed the user preference for the UI theme from auto to dark. You can see it's right there. We added an image, we hit the page title, so you can easily come in here right now and reverse any one of these actions. And then you've got revisions. Revisions is a bit more a bit more robust. Typically under revisions, this is where once you've updated or you've saved your page, you will see those changes under your revisions tab. So it's a bit more robust than actions. So that's that. And then in here, you've got the responsive mode. You click in here, and right now you can choose either desktop view, tablet view, or the mobile view. And the thing is, you can even become very, very, very specific with the width of your screen. So say for example, if I chose tablet, right here you see these handles left and right. You can actually move to a certain dimension, and of course up here you will have the width and the height. So if you have a specific kind of device that you want to see how your website will look like on that particular device with very specific dimensions, you can come in here and change the dimensions for the width as well as the height as well. But I'm going to go back, switch to the regular desktop, and then right here you can preview your changes once you've made them. And then finally you can update, or right here under save options, you can save as a draft, or you can save as a template. Saving as a template means that you can reuse the exact same content on another page. So this is basically kind of like a breakdown of how Elementor works behind the scenes, the user interface, how to add elements. Again, don't worry if it seems very, very overwhelming. As you begin to work with Elementor, it will become very, very easy for you to work with. So that was basically a crash course on the Elementor user interface. Thank you for watching. Join me in the next class where we'll now begin to set our global variables. I'll see you there. I just want to